to left.
Okay. Gosh, well, I was really into a lot of social justice work coming out of high school. And so I got pretty involved with some political campaigning right away. And as my sort of undergraduate career matured, I got more involved with STEM mentorship programs, looking at opportunities to help increase diversity in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And that was really the majority of my undergraduate activities. I guess I was also involved in a peer-to-peer mentoring program that was geared around STEM, which was really nice to get involved with. Um, Again, once you start doing like research and these other activities, your time does start to fill up. So those were the ones that I can think of during undergraduate.
Um, so I guess the most relevant to kind of like medical stuff extracurricular that I did was I was part of the EMT team for my last year at in college. So that was kind of during my transition to, oh, I think I'm interested in medicine, I should try something medicine-y. Before that, though, the organizations I was most heavily involved with were my sorority, Sigma Psi Zeta. I was eventually president of it, as well as an a cappella group, Penn Sorority, that I was music director of. So even those two things, those two activities were not in any way, shape, or form related to like biology or medicine or science. I still got asked about them a fair amount, I would say, during interviews. Um, there's a lot that you can talk about in terms of like, I think interviews is all about spending some time talking with yourself about kind of what lessons you learned from various situations. So a lot of teamwork situations, leading a group of like 40 girls and having everyone be happy is not an easy feat. So figuring out a way to do that um, was really useful, I think, for kind of having those answers for the interview process.
Cool.
Yeah, so I did kind of similar things. I did a peer mentorship thing. I was actually in the a cappella group at my college as well. My main leadership position was being research coordinator of my research group, which took up a lot of my time, but also was a pretty heavily talked about aspect of my application. I also did a club that kind of did some community outreach to inspire STEM, kind of similar along those lines. And I was also a tutor for biology and chemistry through UC Irvine.
Cool.
So I guess for leadership, it kind of naturally occurred in my lab as an upperclassman and grad student, mentoring other undergrad students. But in terms of campus involvement, I was also part of the engineering mentorship program, which I enjoyed quite a lot to mentorship undergrads. And then I was part of the engineering society, honor society called Tau Beta Pi, and we offered some free tutoring for anyone in the School of Engineering. So I did a little bit of that. But I would say my main sort of extracurricular leadership was actually not medically related. I was the treasurer for the Japanese Animation Club at UCLA. I can't say I talked too much about that during my interviews, but I think it did sort of raise a few eyebrows, and it was kind of fun to talk about. But I think as um, Lisa said, it teaches you sort of soft people skills and how to deal with different personalities and take care of maybe more administrative type role for a non-medical related issue. So that was something that I could sort of talk about when people asked about, oh, what did you do in anime club? So I think it's nice to have sort of other interests in your application. So you're a little more three-dimensional.